Gaffer, thank you very much for joining us ahead of the trip to Leyton Orient. You've been able to have a full week of training this week with no midweek fixture. How beneficial has that been?
Very beneficial, yeah. We've got some really good training sessions in. A little bit of recovery initially and then some good training sessions because I'm acutely aware that we're not going to get loads of these 3 weeks as such leading into games. So you need to really use that time well in terms of trying to improve on the training pitch. Any meetings and reviews you need to do, and we've been getting through a lot of that work, so I'm really pleased with that time.
Is that something you've been big on as well, is getting the players in the classroom and talking to them one-on-one, not just out there on the training pitch?
Yeah, we have review meetings after every game, or potentially set-piece review meeting, for example, today. And yeah, I think it's very important to use that time and sit down and analyse and go through things so they get a clear picture of where they can do better and where they're doing well, basically. And then you go and repeat that on the grass, on the training field, and they get the full package, really. So yeah, I think it's important to have team meetings, also unit meetings between the defenders and attackers and things like that. So yeah, it's very important to us improving.
You alluded to it briefly, but there's another 3 games in the space of 7 days coming up now. Will you need to sort of monitor the conditions of the players and perhaps do a bit of rotation in that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got an exciting couple of weeks ahead. Obviously, Leyton Orient game, and Fulham, Wigan, and then Walsall. So we've got a busy couple of weeks, and for that we're going to need a squad. We're going to need a squad, and we're going to need to make sure that that we have freshness and energy on the pitch at all times. So whether that's coming off the bench or rotating the team for for fixtures, whatever that might be, we need to make sure that we have a high energy to play our football.
And looking back at the win against Wycombe, how pleased were you with not just the 3 points, but with the way your team matched them physically as well?
Yeah, I was pleased. I mean, I thought we handled the set-piece threat pretty well. You know, something which you can see it's pretty obvious we've not got a team full of 6'3" players. You know, we've got a few bigger guys and some smaller, more technical players. So, but the organisation and aggression we showed from set pieces defensively was very good. So yeah, and the physical challenge is going to be there this season, and that's what we need to focus on matching. But in my eyes, what we need to do is make sure that we bring a greater physicality to the game with the amount we run and the amount we work. You know, and that will compensate for any differences in sort of size. So yeah, I was really pleased with that.
With the numbers in the squad and the sort of League One restrictions on the number of substitutes, is it sort of an inevitability that some players are going to miss out on some weeks?
Yeah, it is. It is. It would suit us a lot better if it was a 20-man squad, obviously, give us a bit more options on the bench, and would be much more effective in terms of us keeping our squad together. But yeah, some players will miss out, and it's my job to explain to them that it's not the end of the world if they do miss out on a squad. They could well be playing or on the bench or having a huge contribution in the following game only a few days later. So keeping the motivation level high and seeing the bigger picture is going to be really important for the players.
Those competitions in the wide positions specifically after the introduction of Yokoyama as well, what goes into the decision process about who starts in those positions?
I think I'll always start with attacking players. I'll always look and say, what does this game kind of need, you know, based on our style and the opposition. I'll always look at the importance of work ethic, you know, pressing and energy, and making sure that, you know, they're our first defenders, really. Our attackers are our first defenders. So making sure that we've got the condition mentally and physically to do that in those positions, and then obviously their outcomes are going to be goals and assists and chance creation. So I'll take all that into consideration when I'm looking at, say, a winger position and make a decision from there. But the reality with us at the moment is we've got players who are very close in terms of where they are, and it's just then it comes down to almost a gut feeling of this one's good to start this game and maybe bring this one off the bench.
Looking at Orient, they had a pretty good season last season, had a tough start with a couple of losses this campaign, but do you have to be wary of a reaction from them on Saturday? Yeah.
I mean, they narrowly lost to Bolton at home, and that was, again, watching the game, it wasn't a game that they were bad in at all. They were good, and then they narrowly lost to Charlton and away from home. And again, from what I saw, they had really good spells in that game. So they're a decent side, actually. To finish 11th last season, they've got they try to press more than I think other teams have done against us so far. And with the ball, they've got some good ideas, some good players, and they've just signed a player from Spurs who made his debut when I was there last season, Jamie Donnelly. So they have some quality as well, and we have to be really aware and alert of the threat that they pose.
I think everyone would agree that you've had a very impressive transfer window so far, but is a lot of work still being done in that recruiting department?
It is, yeah, it is, because I still think we've got a bit to go to get the squad to where I think it should be and where I hoped it would be. So we're pushing on, hopefully, with a few more that can just finish off and round it off. I do think we've done well so far, but it's not job done yet.
Looking further ahead to Fulham on Tuesday, how good a challenge will that be for your team?
That'll be a really exciting game, I think, against Premier League opposition. A game that we really earned, going away from home and beating Charlton to set this game up. And yeah, it's at the stadium. I can imagine it'll be a great atmosphere, evening game, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's a chance for us to really measure ourselves against a good, solid Premier League team. But honestly, all I'm thinking about is Leyton Orient at the moment.
Just finally on injury news, how's Willem Willemsen doing after that very hefty knock that he suffered last week? Yeah,
he's okay. He's going through the kind of protocols that he needs to medically, and he's doing good. He's step by step. Each day is better. He's been doing what he needs to do, and I would expect him to be available for the game on the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.